Hi, so today I want to show you how to make divine dosha batter, and this is a meal of its own. It's just perfect for all kinds of situations. But first, this is going to be a fermenting dish. I wanted to show you the time and the temperature in Philadelphia. So it's about 5 p.m. and it's about 29 degrees outside. And the reason I'm telling you that is because this is a fermenting batter, and of course fermenting works best in hot climates, but I want to show you how spectacular this is even in cold climates, and the house is quite cold. So I call it divine dosha batter because I really believe we have it every day, and I always have a batch cooking. So it's a very simple recipe, and my advice is to just have something fermenting and soaking at all times, and you can use it every day. Remember, beans and rice, or lentils and rice, is has complete nutrition. Here's my black graham, and I have a separate section showing you what black graham it is we're referring to. So it's just 1 cup of black graham, the whole ones, with, not the flour. 2 cups of brown rice, and a little bit earlier I showed how I buy brown rice in bulk. It's not special, it's very plain, but it's so 1, 2, and then 1 cup of plain white rice, inexpensive white rice that I also buy in bulk, and I put in these containers because they're airtight. My tendency is to put a teaspoon of salt for every cup of grains or rice. That you'll alter later anyway. So here, this is a teaspoon. 2, 3, 4. You almost certainly will use more later. And that's it. So I'm going to cover it with water, let it soak overnight. Tomorrow morning I'll blend it, and it'll be fermenting from tomorrow morning on. And from tomorrow morning on also we'll be eating it. So it gets better over time, but it'll be ready to eat tomorrow. So I just want to make sure it's covered all night. If for some reason we've put in too much water, you can drain it off and add more in. Once you grind it, it should be like a pancake batter, sort of, and you'll get used to your own consistency. So I can show the time again, so if you can see it, I hope you can. It's 5:04. That's how fast that took me, and I'm going to cover this. And you also see how cold it is outside. If later in the night I look at it needs more water, I'll add more water. But to show you that I will not have been playing around with it, I'm just going to throw this there. Let me just throw it. And you can see tomorrow that I will not have touched it. Hopefully you'll believe me. Okay, so I'll turn off the film, and tomorrow morning we'll grind it and start eating it. And it is 5:05. So it's in Philadelphia. It's been snowing and raining all night. It's 36 degrees, and the time is 7:30 a.m. on December 9th. So about 12 hours since we the dosha batter to ferment. And I just wanted to show you that it's snowy outside, and it's been pretty cold inside too. The reason I'm showing you that is to show you that how well these things taste, even though they're not in a tropical setting where they ferment a lot. Here in the house, it's about 59 degrees. Pretty cold. And this mixture has been soaking overnight. So here's my pan. It's called a muffin pan. You can get it online. You can also make these like flat pancakes, thin flat pancakes. But the importance of them in my mind is the fact that they are complete nutritionally. As I understand nutrition, I'm not a doctor or anything. I'm just a teacher and an eater and a cooker. But so it's going to be 7:30, and you saw that on the computer just now. This batter will be stay outside. Even in the summertime, it would stay outside until it's fully fermented. But we're going to have it this morning with just having soaked, not having fermented, and it gets better over time as it ferments. Softer and easier to grind, and that's what I'm going to show you. I put that on top to show you that I didn't mess with it, but then I realized I can pick this up and down without moving that, so that was kind of ridiculous.
This can be done in a normal blender. My blender died recently, so I have had this Cuisinart in the house, and I had never used it, but I'm starting to use it now. So here's my sesame oil that I'll use. In the meantime, I'm going to turn on this. I'm going to start this heating up. You can add water, and then again, you want it to be thick like a pancake batter, so you might have to add more water, or you might have to pour some off as well. So you'll get used to that amount. Basically, this was just covered in water, and you might need, depending on your blender too, you might need more water or less, and you'll get used to that. So feel free to add water if you have to, and pour it off later once it settles. If it is too watery, the batter, you can always thicken it with some rice flour. On the ingredients. Okay, so it's going to make a lot of noise. Now I'm just checking it for salt and thickness and coarseness. This batch really needs more salt, and that's why I'm adding it now. And we'll keep going. You notice the spoon didn't touch me or my hand. So for now, this is fine. And as I mentioned earlier, we'll have our first dosha balls this morning, and this batter will stay out fermenting all week. And the more fermented, the more delicious. Once it's fermented to the amount that you want, then you can refrigerate it and keep it from there. But being that it's so cold, inside and outside, I'll probably just keep it outside on my countertop. I'll taste it. Still very coarse. So I added about at least 2 more teaspoons. Then when you're cooking it, after the first batch or the first dosha, you will also taste it after it's cooked. Okay. So I leave all this room is because when it ferments it grows. So you definitely want to leave a room for it to grow. And the warmer your environment, the more so. So there's our dosha batter, some of which we're going to use right now that has not fermented, and some will ferment over the next few days. I'm just leaving it up here on the countertop. You see it's pretty cold in here. That's Fahrenheit, 57 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, in the meantime,
just to show you. So this is my 1/4 teaspoon, 1/2 teaspoon, 1 teaspoon, and 1 tablespoon. So I use the 1/4 teaspoon, and as you saw yesterday, and I'll show you again today, we really use it less than 1/4 teaspoon per spot.
If I were making this for kids, I would use a lot more oil.
Because you're competing with the fried potatoes, chicken nuggets, so again, so that's not much at all. If you're feeding children, go ahead and use more.
I really think this competes well with the McNuggets and any fried foods that the kids love. This is so much better. It's complete nutritionally. Remember, it has lentils and brown rice and white rice. So to show you the time again, 7:43, laptop.
I'm going to also show you how to make a dosa in a regular pan.
Now if you were doing this for kids, I would put more oil inside here, but if it's for adults, I wouldn't put more oil in, but do anything to make it appealing. And these really keep well, so you can keep them overnight. So some people are pretty particular about whether it's battery, whether all the batter is cooked inside. So you can take one and look. So that looks pretty cakey to me. It doesn't look like a lot of batter. And now is when you taste it and check for salt, and it happens to be good. So I'm going to because it hasn't fermented, there's no sourness to it, which is what we all love. So That's just showing you can eat it this quickly. You don't have to wait days. You just need to soak it at night.
So you can have one of these soaking almost all the time and a batter sitting on your countertop fermenting, and it can be ongoing. It doesn't have to be a big project. That's what I was trying to show.
So this is a little thick for the pancake dosha. So if you were going to do it this way without the muffin pan, you would probably make it a little thinner, but you'll get to find the thickness yourself, what works best for you. Then you wait for the bubbles so you know it's gotten cooked at the other side. Here too, we're waiting for the bubbles to come through. So it's still 7:49, so this one's a good time. There you go. So this dosa, if we were doing a typical South Indian meal, we'd have some masala potatoes to put in there. So these 6 dosa balls had a half of a teaspoon of oil to make them, and they still replicate the deep fat fried taste that we love, that we crave. So here's the dosa, and I could make many more, but I just wanted you to see. There we go. So these will get put over here in the corner, and they'll be allowed to ferment.
And I'll show you this every day. We'll make dosha balls every single day. Time 7:53. We'll do it again tomorrow with the fermented balls and just continue.
Hi, good morning. So this is the 3rd day of our dosha batter. It's almost 7 a.m. on December 10th, and when the light comes up, I'll show you how snowy it is outside still.
And it's just after 7 a.m. and here are the dosha balls in the corner where I left them yesterday.
Tell from the here it shows you 59 degrees Fahrenheit in my kitchen, pretty cold. Had this been a hot period, you would have seen that these would have doubled. So here, it smells a little fermenty, but not much, like if it were very warm out. But you can see some of the bubbles. Hope you can. And you can see also I haven't moved it around since yesterday when I put them here. And actually, let me move this here.
These keep on your countertop. So these have been on my countertop, and this is the one I served from yesterday. We made 18 balls, and this was here. In a few days, it still will rise.
And here's this.
So these 2 will go back in the corner and just sit there. If you have a warm place in your house, like a stove with an oven, with a pilot light that goes, or a fireplace, I would definitely keep them there. Any warmth just helps it. These are just on so stuff doesn't fall in it. But the whole idea is really just to show you that this would stay on your countertop and you would just use it every day. If it were very hot, after a few days you'd put it in your fridge because it would keep fermenting. But in the Northeast that's not a problem. So here we go again. This has been on.
And here's my 1/4 teaspoon. If I were making this for kids, I would use a lot more oil because you're competing with the fried potatoes, chicken nuggets. So again, if this has gotten too thick, you can thin it up a little bit. You can also add salt, and I think this is fine for now. So December, we made the batter in the night. In the morning we ground the batter up. The same day we made 18 balls. Now today is December 10th, and I'll fill in how many balls we made and then keep a tally. Now if you aren't sure of the salt, now's the time you can taste it. You can taste the raw batter as well, because there's no animal products in there that are uncooked that would make you sick.
And these go really well in school lunches.
Okay, so these are really done. Here's our current time. We're trying to find a, so 7:12. We have our first balls coming off. I just want to show you outside how snowy it is, how cold. And again, this is to show you that you don't have to be in a tropical area to make these balls. So here I go again with my 1/4 teaspoon.
And the beauty with this too, compared to the fried food you buy, is you control the oil, you control the salt.
So I'm going to start one of my other batters because there's not enough in here. So let me just show you. So you can see it is very cakey. I'm just going to empty this into here.
So while they're cooking, I'm going to put my dough away.
So that's the temperature, 59 degrees here in the kitchen. In this spot, it's really quite cold. And these are good chicken savers.
This story here, there's some people called animals angels, and they go to slaughterhouses and just stand outside and document the animals being herded into the slaughterhouses. And they talk about how brave and how unique the animals are, especially pigs. And there's a book called With the Eyes of Love. It's a beautiful book. So here's some more artwork on my fridge. Dairy cow, saved, dairy calf, pig.
Astonishing. So there we go. In less than a half an hour, we made 18 more balls. And then here are the dosa batter for tomorrow. And we'll just keep going. Hi, okay, it's December 11th, a little after 10 a.m., and I'm going to continue with my dosha balls. So here's where they've been stored. That's where I left them yesterday. And I think this will be the last day of demonstrating for you. It's still really cold here in the Northeast. It's 59 degrees in my kitchen, so not a lot of fermenting has happened.
But some fermenting, and you can see it there. See the little holes? It has separated a little bit, though it hasn't doubled. If it were warm in the kitchen or wherever this was fermenting, it would have gotten quite bubbly. But it doesn't matter because they're good the way they are.
This was the container I had been taking the batter from yesterday.
So I'm going to continue with this one, and maybe tomorrow, if I see a lot of change in this batter, I'll film that as well. But if there's not much change, you can consider the lesson about dosha batter over.
So those are all signs of fermenting, the little holes, and that is all just very, very delicious. It gets a little sour taste and a little frothy, and it makes the dosha balls really taste delicious. So, December 11th. It's how cold it is here in the Northeast. We've had some snow.
And the reason, again, I'm showing you that is if you ever fermented in a warm country like India, you would think you can't ferment in a cold country because you're used to the heat.
Here are our dosha balls. Today's December 11th, and we'll make 18 more, and I'll continue to count them after this. Yes, this batter I won't touch. If in a day or so, I'll put this in the fridge, or maybe even today, I could put it in the fridge. If it were hot in my kitchen, I would definitely put it in the fridge because it would ferment too much.
So, again, I'm going to show you, I'm going to be using a quarter teaspoon oil in here, and if I were making this for a child, I'd use a lot more oil. And the reason for that is you're competing with very oily, delicious things like McNuggets and French fries and fried things.
Hi, girl. Hi, girl. Did she have a good walk? Did
I want to call you and ask you.
It's Maggie May. She's just been for a cold walk. Hi, girl. Did you have a good walk? Hi, girl. Okay. Come here, Maggie. So we finally got her a name. And it's really cold out there, and you can see she's really thin. So she really needs this little, she had 3 layers on, 1, 2, and then 3. Okay. Okay, so she has her feet cleaned off.
I'll wash my hands.
So as I was saying, since you're controlling the oil, you can use more, because there's absolutely nothing in the balls themselves, and you can add sugar, salt as needed. So you see how this is bubbled up some more? See the little bubbles? That's the fermenting, which it really makes it so delicious. I'll go ahead and stir it in. And you'll see it's still about here.
We'll see if it grows tomorrow.
So I try to always make that my last one. I start here. That's just something I do. But I think that if this one's done, then I know they're all done. Okay, now you see how bubbly these have gotten? That shows you that they've fermented more, and they're so different from the first day's balls. But so they're ready to turn. So if I wanted to start here, I could start here. You see, if this one's done, then I know they're all done. So. Done. Looks pretty cakey to me, not very battery-ish.
Okay, this will be my last batch. You see how the batter comes on the knife when you turn it? Well, when you're making, let's say, pancakes with raw eggs in it, and you touch the raw batter on top, chances are this will not have been cooked. So you're risking some, some raw egg-borne illnesses, I think. But being that there's no animal products in here, you don't have to worry about that raw batter getting on the raw side of here. And I often wonder how people manage that when they're cooking eggs or pancakes and the raw batter comes on here. Once they flip it and it's on the cooked side, that cooked side never gets cooked again. So I've often wondered how they manage that. And to show you that I will not have touched it, I'll dangle it like this. So unlike that, we get this off. There. So that'll be like that. So I'll show you tomorrow and we can take a look at it. So it's gotten a little warm in the kitchen because of all the cooking. 16 and it's 60 degrees Fahrenheit. I'll turn off the camera and it's 10:33 and we've made 18 more balls. And Hi, so as you can see it's December 12th and I just want to show you outside. It's still very snowy and cold. So today is the last day I'll show you the dosha batter so you can learn about it. And I don't need to show you how to make dosha, the balls anymore, but I really want you to see how this batter has developed. Had it not been winter time, it would have happened a little bit fast. But if you recall, we made it on the 8th, then it stayed overnight. Monday morning we ground it, and then we've made balls. So today's the 12th. And it's a little warmer in the kitchen today. I've been cooking a little bit. And if you recall, I haven't touched this. I put that over there just before I turned off the film. But I want you to see how this batter has grown. Okay, now I'm going to touch this and bring it out. We had marked it off here, and if you can see, it's grown about an inch. And if you can see, it's kind of frothy, bubbly. I'll see. So there's the line, and you see how much it's grown. So that's why also when you make it, you really need to put it in a half a container because it'll grow depending on the environment and whatnot. So I'm going to take this off, and I can hope you saw I didn't touch it. Over time, this lid will bulge up. It will have so much gas inside. Again, the fermentation taking place. And there you can see it bubbling up. It didn't, the lid was not bulged this time, but other times it will be. And that's just really, really what you want. So this is all very good. And if you could smell it, there would be a sour, yeasty smell to it. And here's where we put it in, and now it's grown about here. So I'm going to stir it, and you can watch me stir it. And then that'll be the end of our the demo. But this is why you need to have the dosha batter on an ongoing basis, fermenting, and then you always have it. It's like having your own, I don't know, yogurt going. You know, it just keeps going. Well, a new batch, this will keep us for a few days, and a new batch, I'll start a new batch tonight, and it'll be on an ongoing basis. I didn't mention, but these are also good with little chopped onions, little chopped hot peppers, all kinds of things. So let me just get a spoon, and I'll stir it in front of you. So there's that. See it all frothy? And it grew some. In the summer, we would have gotten this happening much quicker. So this is really, you've seen fermenting, happening on a day-to-day basis. We've been eating it every day, and now we'll eat this. This will be the most delicious one of all. It has a soury taste to it, and maybe more adultish. And we will cook it the same way we did the other balls. But tonight, this will have several meals for us. But I'll start another batch going tonight. And we know now that when it's in the 60s, low 60s, it still ferments and very delicious. So I hope you have enjoyed this lesson and that you've learned a lot. Here's my little girl. There she is. I will continue to count the balls so that we will know how much this batch yielded. I'll wash my hands. So even though we made it on the 8th, we had been eating it every single day since then. I'll keep a tally of the balls that this batch yields. And just as a reminder, this was, I called them divine dosha balls, but they're just the dosha balls. And this batter has really performed really well. Okay, hope you learned a lot. Thank you. I'll just give you the date one more time.
Okay, thank you. If you make some dosha balls, fermented or not, please send me the pictures. Bye.